I personally am not afraid of other people's freedom of expression. I don't use it as a weapon. It just makes me feel better. And I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Everything I'm supposed to say.
Get woke, go broke. Proven to be right more often than not. Now mix that in with stupid decision making at Netflix, and you have a recipe for a financial disaster not seen since the likes of Darkside Phil's $500,000 tax debt.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Netflix is well known for its anime adaptations, pandering and race swapping of characters that leave fans of the now bastardized franchise wondering,
what the hell is even that?
Daddy, chill.
I'm looking at you, Witcher. I don't care if that Star Wars girl yells at me later. No amount of Henry Cavill will fix this. Still, block that Star Wars girl's number before she sees this. Cowboy Bebop was the most recent dumpster fire of just endless bad choices. Virtue signaling, pandering, and rewriting characters to fit modern sensibilities. Listening to modern sensibilities suck. That's why California went from being beaches with beautiful, bikini-clad women to now refugee camps for the homeless. We went from I wish they all could be California girls to I wish an asteroid would hit the world. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend. Raid has taken over, and gaming will never be the same again. Raid is the first game to bring a true console level experience to your phone with hundreds of artifacts to equip and over 600 champions blessed with unique skills. Raid has released some new champions, and this is the one I plan on using. Neckert the Great. As you can see, he has some real maidenless energy. The skulls all over his armor are clearly overcompensation for the fact that he's low in a vitamin called love. He's a universal fighter that can fit anywhere in the game, including PvP Arena. He places ally protection and block debuffs on other champions. He even starts the battle by covering your weakest champion. His only weakness is himself. He makes attacking anyone else on the team unfeasible and has no real special defense for himself. Raid just celebrated its 3-year anniversary, and it was huge. We're talking free gifts for everyone, a bunch of new content and events, new champions, and new artifact sets. And there's no signs of them slowing down. Right now, they got a bunch of special events and tournaments with some of Raid's best prizes ever. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click the link in the description or scan my QR code, you'll get a free starter pack worth almost $40. So we're talking 3 free champions: Mr. Recoil, Tiger Soul, and Romero, plus 10 Magic XP brews, 10 Force XP brews, and 10 Spirit brews. It's just that easy. Click the link in the description and I'll see you in game. Well, finally, the chickens have come home to roost, and they set the barn on fire while Farmer Brown was trying to feed sheep.
Netflix tells woke workers to quit if they are offended in the cultural memo.
Yes!
Oh God, that feels so good to say. Oh, it's delicious.
Entertaining the world is an amazing opportunity and also a challenge because viewers have very different tastes and points of view, stated the lengthy proclamation. Depending on your role, you may need to work on titles you perceive to be harmful. Netflix memo to employees.
Well, isn't that just amazing? Netflix is doing what they should have done a long time ago. What used to be the norm in America whenever you worked anywhere. You shut up and do your job. If you don't like it, quit. That was the game. That's how it's always been. Why do we live in a world now where adults feel like they need to be catered to like small, repugnant children? I find this program offensive. I don't know if I can work here. I'm being triggered. I'm traumatized. Oh my God, I have PTSD. Shut up. You don't know what PTSD is. You didn't serve in Vietnam. Off. One day you were served a latte and someone said you were kind of fruity, and it was the biggest problem you ever had in your life, and you're still triggered by it 5 years later. Get over it. You're full grown. What's wrong with you? One day you're gonna die, and death isn't gonna come and take you and be aware of your proclivity for living. Oh, no, Death, I'm not ready. I'm too young and beautiful and gay. And Death's like, shut up. It's time to go, you fruit. No, Death is homophobic. And then Death's like, no, I'm not. I'm lifeophobic. Now get in a boat. We're going down the river Styx. And I better not hear another yelp out of you. You will get a bad Yelp review. These companies can afford to play the woke annoying game till the money stops rolling in. Then they drop the act faster than an e-girl pretending to be interested in you. Till you tell her you can't subscribe to her Twitch channel this month, and she yells at you for being bad with money.
$5 a month.
Being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
You have a change here where people who are going to continue to watch on YouTube need to step up. And in particular, I mean, the one way that they can really do that is via pledging to my Patreon. I mean,
Not a bad deal if I say so myself. Kill me, please. I want to die.
Let's face it, blocking 700K Russians from Netflix did them absolutely no favors financially. It's not like Netflix is any good anyway. On the real, they should be doing everything in their power to keep subscribers. Then they lost another 200K. How do we get here? I'm sure the CEO cried out in agony.
Can I have the room for a minute?
Everybody out.
My empire is crumbling!
I guess, to start off, kissing the ass of people who look like extras from Mad Max Fury Road dipped into rainbow paint was the first mistake. The second was funding every hacktivist wet dream animated series, or paying Meghan Markle millions of dollars for being 1/16th black. And married to a prince. My god, what a struggle, am I right? Quarter black Garrett from Nerdrotic has more street cred than her. Hell, I do too. I drove through a shootout to buy Popeye's chicken. Come on now, Netflix, where's my show? Call it Almost Black in America. It'll air every day at noon. I mean, Netflix needs money because Stranger Things costs $30 million per episode to produce now. How? The hell if I know. It's one of the few original shows they have that people are still interested in. So they're just gonna keep chucking money at it until it becomes a loss. Because Netflix has got a gambling problem. Did I mention that Netflix even started trimming the fat on shows that they had in development? It's kind of sad that it took Netflix losing just copious amounts of money before they realized, whoa, maybe these shows do suck. For instance, The Babysitter's Club. It was just canceled. It had a trans writer who was on Twitter talking about, and I quote, wanting those teenage skater boys to breed me. Here's some old clips because I'm not reading these tweets again. I've become such a slut since hormones stole my semen. Stu? No! How come I can't have a Netflix special? Imagine how exhausting it must be to post sincere, motivating things on social media. Anyway, I'd love for someone to come on my face. Did you ever just jerk off and come all over yourself and smear it into your skin and roll around until it's all over your body in sheets? Question mark. You guys, there is a teenage skater boy with an eye. That's how you know he's hot stuff. On the G, eating yogurt, and I want him and his friends to breed me. A few horrible ideas from Ava DuVernay also got canned. Wings of Fire and The Anti-Racist Baby, which is a children's book that odds are you never heard of, even if you had kids, because your life doesn't revolve around political crap. For Christ's sakes, let kids be kids. The streaming service also scrapped Stamped.
Stamped. Racism. Anti-racism. And You. A documentary intended to serve as a companion piece to Stamped from the Beginning, which is a hybrid documentary and scripted feature that delves into race in the United States. Stamped from the Beginning is still moving forward and is currently in post-production, and it sounds like an absolute miserable thing to watch.
Oh my god, corny, lame, boo, tomato, 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 I'm throwing tomato.
Do you want to see that from me just reading that synopsis? Does this appeal to you? And the answer is probably hell no.
A film version of With Kind Regards from Kindergarten, a darker children's book about two young friends who drift as one of them loses his imagination, had not been publicly announced before the animated title was scrapped.
Yeah, here's an idea. Go pick up a Japanese anime. Like, pick up some 90s animes that people haven't seen in America, and it will make you more money than this would have ever done. And you probably could get it for next to nothing, Netflix. Use your brain. Hire someone that isn't smoking crack. Another one.
Anti-Racist Baby. Based on anti-racist scholar Dr. Ibrahim, I probably got that wrong, X Kennedy, was imagined as a series of animated vignettes set to music for preschoolers. Kendai, who also wrote Stamped Racism Act Anti-Racism EU, which will no longer run in tandem with the adult-skewed stamp from the beginning. Those three projects were being made to examine racism for audiences of all ages.
What kid would sit there and go, I can watch Dragon Ball Z, or I can watch Anti-Racist Baby? I'm telling you what I'm watching, and it's Goku. Netflix is also laying off 150 staffers in a new round of layoffs. To summarize it in a very short term without reading to you articles with a whole lot of political speak where it's like, oh, we're not firing people because they suck or they're useless. We have to let them go because we're running out of money, which I think if the people weren't useless or had good ideas, this wouldn't be a problem. Somehow McDonald's continues to sell Big Macs despite the fact that it kills people. But anyway, the long and the short of it is...
Do you see what happens, Larry, when...
Virtue signal.
Stranger in the ass! What happens, Larry?
Netflix is also doubling down on gaming as stocks profit. Yeah, let me save you some time, Netflix. No, walk away from this. You can't even make decisions on shows that would be good. Odds are these guys are going to sell you another Stranger Things mobile game for the 1 billionth time. I'd like you to remember Netflix also gave Miranda Sings 2 seasons of a show. For real, Miranda Sings? For God's sakes, what are they thinking?
Reports that Netflix plans to make 50 games available before the end of the year. Among the crop is a mobile game based on Exploding Kittens, the popularity of somewhat sadistic card game about kittens who explode that may or may not involve alcohol depending on who you play with. Netflix will also produce a show
on Exploding Kittens.
Why? You little piece of dribble piss.
Holy Jesus. Why? How did they not have anyone there to just sit there and go, this idea sucks, it's stupid? No. Hire me, Netflix, and I guarantee you'll start making money again. Let's see what other shows got canceled. The Verge, Archive 81, never saw. The Babysitter's Club, we already talked about that.
Babysitter's Club, this is Christy Thomas speaking.
Christy, baby, you ever smoke crack? You dealing? Oh, damn, I think this is the wrong number, baby.
Gentrified? Gentrified. Just the title alone. A trio of Mexican and American cousins. Okay, there we go. Cooking with Paris Hilton, for real? On what planet does Paris Hilton cook? On what bizarro world does she cook and someone else doesn't come in the room and cook for her? Get out of here. Another Life. Bone. Pretty Smart. Grace and Frankie. Lock and Key. Okay, I'm done. None of these shows appeal to me. Frankly, this comes as no surprise. For every one good show Netflix has, they produce a dozen pieces of shit. And for what? To examine racism? Wow, fun times. With all the great animes Netflix could have picked up on the cheap and made money on, they insisted on funding and continuing to fund that makes them no money and that nobody really wants to watch, except for a few brainlets who for some reason need to be tormented 24/7 with racial and political ideologies that support their very existence because they don't know how to connect with anyone else, they don't have personalities, and they probably don't have hobbies outside of canceling people. The most amazing part of all of this is the fact that Netflix keeps going up in price despite being totally ass. They're becoming the new cable television. They went from, oh, sharing passwords is caring to this is theft. If a site was bipolar, it would be called Netflix. and they're starting to finally see that they have a problem. But it's all a little too late. Like a woman who was on the dating scene fooling around with bad boys and having experiences till she hit her mid-30s and started to think, whoa, now's the time to settle down and have a kid with the responsible man who will pick up my student loan debt. That's pretty much it. Netflix is the party girl that is starting to get old and much less desirable. Now that new, younger streaming services have hit the scene and with better content, instead of planning ahead, Netflix went full YOLO, thinking her popularity and beauty would last forever. Instead of taking accountability for her bad decisions, she doubled down on the in vogue political beliefs and statements and invested her time and energy into the wrong IPs who pumped and dumped her for millions of dollars. Wait, what's this? Netflix blames you for its stock problems, but the real problem is Netflix. See, I rest my case.